Hey everyone, welcome to my updated Baba Red X guide. In this guide, we're going to cover some updated Red X setups to help the average player out, as well as some new advanced strats for experienced players. This guide will only briefly cover the basics and old strats, and focus more on the new strats. So if you're interested in my old guide, I will link it in the description. Also, before we begin, note that for clarity on the timings of things, I will always talk about when to click rather than when to move, as you move but tick after you click, so I think it's easier just to focus on which tick you need to click on. First, let's cover plugins. I recommend having control click enabled so you can easily walk or run on any click, as well as having shift click enabled so you can click through NPCs to move. Also, enable the boss HP bar and use opponent info to show both HP and percent. This way, you can tell when Baba is close to 66% and 33% for Mind the Gap. I recommend you tag Baba with True Tile and Better NPC Highlight plugin, and you can optionally use the True Tile setting in Tile Indicator plugin for your player for some of the more advanced strats, but it's not required. There's also some nice plugins for boulder skipping that I explain in my boulder skip guide. Video link will be in the description. I will also link my tile markers in the description. Next, let's cover how Red X works to avoid some common mistakes. First of all, Red X only affects the last NPC you targeted, so if you attack a boulder or baboon, you'll need to target Baba again for Red X to stop her movements. Then, any Red X action you do will stop Baba from moving while you are under her, unless you complete the Red X action or interrupt the action. If you do want to do an action that interrupts Red X, like drinking a potion, you can just drink the potion and then click X on the same tick to keep going. Or you could just drink the potion while not under Baba to make things simpler. Next, we will cover how Team Aggro works. For gain aggro in team raids if you have dedicated Red Xers. Whoever has the lowest HP will get aggro. When Baba attacks, it will swap aggro after attacking only if it has been at least 26 ticks since the last aggro swap. While in the Red X cycle, Baba will not swap aggro unless you mess up. Baba will always swap after the Rolling Boulder special ends, unless it swapped less than 26 ticks ago. Baba can't choose the same person they are already targeting, so if you want one person to have aggro forever, they need to be the lowest HP, and they need to purposely stop Red Xing a bit before rolling boulders, so Baba can swap to someone else before rolling boulders, and then Baba can swap back to them after rolling boulders. Next, let's cover the basic Red X cycle. You are in the Red X cycle once Baba does the quick shadow attack, not the slow shadow attack. If you are doing the walk in 2 ticks, walk out 2 tick strat, you actually have a 2 tick window to go under Baba. This means if Baba is in cycle, you can click to walk under Baba either the same tick Baba starts the swipe animation, or click the tick after, which would be as she finishes her swipe animation. Now for the basic instant setups. In the old guide, I showed this method for setting up Red X at the start. Rather than doing it this way, you can just go to the south side of a room and skip having to drop a potion. By doing it at the south side of a room, clicking to attack Baba while in the middle of her will prioritize you moving south instead of north, so we don't need the potion for the initial setup anymore. Another method you can do is lure Baba here, and then simply run to Red X, and run out to attack when Baba starts the shadow attack. Basically just reacting to when you see it. If you prefer reacting rather than timing things, this is a nice setup for you, just be careful if Mind the Gap is on. Do whichever method you prefer. I will show an advanced speedrun setup later. For P2 and P3, the old guide showed this method for Red X, where you drop a potion, attack Baba, then walk for 3 or 4 ticks, and then do the walk in 2, walk out 2 strat. This is still pretty good, but it can be annoying to have to click through Baba to click on the potion. So instead, you can drop the potion and then run to the other side of Baba to make things easier. In addition to this, you can do a 4 tick weapon hit if you have nothing just kick, then switch to your Fang, and start the Red cycle right after you hit Baba with your Fang. If you find this easier, just make sure you drag Baba out at least 1 tile before the Fang hit, so that she's not stuck in the wall, giving you space to dodge the ceiling falling attack. Note that if you're on the very top row, you are safe from Mind the Gap, but only the very top row. Note that Voidbreaker spec is a magic attack, so it won't actually aggro Baba as only a melee attack can do that. So if you Voidbreaker spec, you still need to do a normal 4 tick melee hit afterwards before switching to Fang. Also, I recommend you watch my boulder skip video for boulder skipping, so you can actually make it to the top. It will be in the description. Now that we've covered the basics, it's time for the advanced strats. The walk in 2, walk out 2 strat is nice and easy, but does require having a Red X on the upper side of Baba. However, you can actually Red X Baba while only using Baba for the Red X. This method is a little more precise though, as now you only have a 1 tick window to go under Baba. but the only red X you need is Baba, so you can do this anywhere, anytime, no setting up your position or dropping items on the ground. Great for emergencies. For this method, you simply shift-click to run to one of the 4 inner corner tiles of Baba, as shown here. Then you simply control-click Baba to walk attack out. This will force you either west or east out of Baba if there's no walls in the way. If Baba is in red X cycle already and doing the quick shadow attack, you simply click to run at the end of a swipe animation like so. Also note, if you have a straight line to a tile you need to step on, simply click or shift click behind Baba as so. Once you get some practice, you can even prayer flick while doing this. This method is especially nice for dragging Baba around, say to the bottom of a hill to have an easier time with boulder skip. As seen here, you simply wait a tick after stepping out to avoid getting gap on Baba, then run for up to 2 ticks, then click at the end of a swipe animation to run through Baba. If there are obstacles, you can go around them like this. Instead of AFKing for 1 tick after stepping out, like I do here, you could use that tick to get to the side of Baba faster. A nice thing to note for the start of Baba is that if you run straight for Baba at the start, you can get an instant red X up by doing 2 bank hits, as shown here. If you have difficulty with control walk, you can use the key remapping plugin on Runelite to rebind a different button for control walking. Personally, I tend to just take my hand off my F keys to reach the control key. Like I said before, this method is especially nice for emergencies since you can do this anywhere. To take advantage of that, we need to be able to enter red X from any of Baba's attacks, and not just from a special setup right after boulders. So here's the timing to red X after each of Baba's attacks. I find it simplest to think of it as how many ticks after the start of Baba's swipe we need to click. So 0 is clicking the same tick as the start of a swipe, 1 is clicking the same tick as the end of a swipe animation. Remember, for advanced red X is tick perfect, but the walk in to walk out to has a 2 tick window. So that one will work even if you click 1 tick too early. As you can see, after the quick shadow, which happens during red X, you click on 1. After a P3 melee, you click on 2. After a P1 or P2 melee, you click on 4. After a slow shadow, you click on 5. Note that when Baba does the ceiling attack and spawns boulder safe spots, Baba will do a swipe animation. This can be confusing as this attack is like a Gmall spec and doesn't actually affect Baba's attack timing, so try to ignore it and just pay attention to Baba's last real attack. Also note that if someone else attacks Baba's first after boulder skip, but you get the aggro from Baba, you can just treat the turn animation as 1 and click on 4 to go under. It can be tricky to count ticks without counting too fast or too slow, so I do recommend having a plugin to help you. I use the report button plugin and set it to show ticks, as it's the least intrusive. You can optionally use visual metronome or prayer plugin's prayer flick helper as well. I also highly recommend just practicing in entry mode while purposely losing the red X and setting up again after each kind of attack. Now here's some more cool tech. Here's an advanced instant setup you can do for P1. Basically you run straight in and stop on this tile here. Then as soon as Baba moves, you run for 1 tick, and then click to attack Baba. This might confuse you on how we set up a red X while only being under Baba for 1 tick. The thing is, if Baba's attack is not on cooldown, but Baba can't reach you to attack you, then stepping under Baba causes an instant quick shadow attack. Baba is able to attack while moving, so if we only had a 1 or 2 tile gap, Baba would hit us as the game processes her movement before player movement. So for this to work, we must have exactly a 3 tile gap between us and Baba. As Baba runs 2 tiles towards us, creating a 1 tile gap, and then on that same tick, we move 2 tiles towards Baba, putting us 1 tile under her, but at no point she's within melee distance on that tick. You can actually do this setup from any tile that's an even number of tiles below the tile that I showed. Just use Baba's true tile relative to your true tile to help you time when she has a 3 tile gap. You can also create a 3 tile gap to drag Baba across the room. Simply get into the red X cycle, ideally the advanced red X cycle, as that gives you more freedom of movement, and after you step out from Baba, instantly walk 1 tile away and then run away. This also works after the advanced P1 instant setup we just showed. You will have gap and can lure Baba as long as you have space to run, then simply run back through Baba for the 1 tick red X proc. If you accidentally run right away, you can at some point walk 1 tick to fix it. Or you can just run right away, but click on a tile that you know will put you on the free tile gap, like the second bottom row for example. That's all the advanced strats to turn you into a super Baba Red Xer. Now at the end, we're going to cover a really niche, super advanced strat. Most people will never have a reason to use this strat beyond just showing off. We've used it a bit in our 600 Invocation 8-mans that are attempting to be a first to clear 600 without failing the time. It's a really cool strat though. This is the Gronk Insta Red X. First of all, Gronk, or Gronking, is when you melee the boss after one set of boulders with floor dash on. You tank the boulder by doing this, but you aggro Baba, lowering it down early so your teammates can attack it sooner, and also ending the boulders early so if people struggle with doing boulder dash in 2 sets of boulders, it doesn't matter, as it won't spawn a 3rd set of boulders anyways. The Gronk Insta Red X is a way to set up Red X instantly after Gronking. If you aren't the one Gronking, but know you will get aggro because you're the lowest HP, you can do the same insta setup. Just run to the same tile and wait for Baba to have a free tile gap. Also, note in these clips, it will show me doing the setup in a solo. In a team raid, your teammates will break the second boulder for you so you can just AFK for 1 tick instead of blow upping the boulder, or you can just melee the boss instead of blow upping the boulder, and then continue to the end tile like in the clips. The 5 boulders are numbered 1 to 5 from left to right. There's 7 unique combinations of boulders you can get, and we will show all 7. Anything else is simply a mirrored version, like having the broken boulders be 2 and then 4 is the same as having it be 4 and then 2. And that's the end of my updated Baba Red X guide. I hope you enjoyed pushing your Red X skills to another level. Good luck on your raids!